So yeah, we'll get into the jobs after the Sea Org, but this is also this is also so important and so key for exactly what this is all for. Like, this is so important and so key for exactly what we're doing this all for healing, for opening pockets. There are things that somebody will just come like tell me online, and I'm like, oh my god, I totally forgot. Or even healing, like just talking to Jeff Hawkins about knowing the fact that he worked directly under L. Ron Hubbard and like did go to the ship under L. Ron Hubbard's orders and everything. Like, I'm just like, wow, that's why my mom, out of everybody in the base, at the int base, respected him more, because not everybody at Gold Base even ever spoke to L. Ron Hubbard, let alone was even alive or around the base when L. Ron Hubbard existed. So
Right.
it's really, really cool to even hear that Jeff Hawkins had this whole status from L. Ron Hubbard
Yeah,
pulling him into
that was
to
interesting.
Scientology, and then him being so close to my mother in such a way where like she had this undeniable respect for Jeff, which now makes sense, because it's like we all were groomed into this. I don't want to degrade the branches and trees of life, but we were all put under this tree and all these little branches of like, oh, you think you're doing your own life, but you're really stuck to this root, and you're really stuck to what we're telling you.
Yeah.
And so to grow out of that in a way and on our own now is insane and crazy. And to even have a question like, what jobs did you have when you left the Sea Org? It's like, well, let's talk about first our interaction in the Sea Org. Do you remember me word clearing you? Okay. So like, it's just crazy how we were in one world and it's like we're in another world, Planet Scientology, you know?
Well, and can I say
Crazy.
something about, you said it was like a bunch of no-nos, that you were doing, or with the unsettling, and I think they did a lot of that to me in order, it's like they make the technology fit their purpose, right? For the purpose of, because I was putting my feet in
Good way to put it.
course, like just like I was trying to have them kick me off because I was going so slow, and instead they just treated me like I didn't know it. It was like this thing to just like you said, like use the technology, so I'd say, so it would work, but not necessarily even through
how
the guidelines, as they put it.
And how that, right, not to L. Ron Hubbard's policy, but how Louis understood that maybe you were going through a horrible time, or you were possibly connected to somebody who's suppressing you. And so he's like, okay, what would be a good solution for this if this is the thing that we are all believing in and that we are stuck in? He's here. Actually, as you apologize, you're also there. You were doing that to help her. That's the whole reason you started. So your apology.
I treated Sarah Yu as a case. I'm just dealing with your case, which is what is inside your folder, all of the information about your past experiences and what you thought about them and how to address that. And I'm not addressing a real person, with Scientology, you're just addressing this case.
And
I don't
to
know
be
if that
fair,
makes sense.
no, I mean, even on an energetic like standpoint, for me, I remember there was definitely a distance, from me to you. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, Liz. We have her on the stage. I just wanted Louis and Sarah to finish what they were saying. But hi, Liz. Welcome.
Hi. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it, though. Just that idea that I remember, especially with people in ethics, it was like they were over there and I'm over here. I even lived with someone who was in ethics in my dorm, and I'm blanking on her name. Curly hair, was a rancher. She was very like, anyway. But yeah, there was always
Laura
this.
Kinderman?
It might have been. Honestly, I like have a pretty big.
Was she in Asho Day ethics?
Asho Day ethics, yes. 100%.
Laura Kinderman, Michelle Sizer, Jennifer.
I remember Michelle
Oliva.
Sizer.
Wella McDonald.
I know Wella McDonald.
Curly. No, wasn't her?
That it wasn't her, but I definitely know well.
I love that they're listing off all the people. They're like, but.
It's like a puzzle.
Well,
It's
Lou
like a
knows all the
puzzle.
people.
And it's like a puzzle. There's only certain amount of pieces. It's not like there was so many random people you didn't know. It was like, well, who were the people we know?
No, I think I lived with Wella for a bit, and she didn't like living with the group she was with because we were all kind of out ethics and a little rowdy, and like we had Annette Apodaca who was Annette Apodaca, and yeah. Blessings to you, dear woman. But Well McDonald actually wrote me up at one point because she didn't think I was showering enough.
Really?
Like, I was like, no, I totally am showering on a regular basis.
Stinky
I don't know what you're
girl.
talking about.
You stinky girl. And were you showering? I don't think so, right? Because you had to fight for showers anyways. Like you.
Well, that was the thing. I would stay up late, like, and so I would sometimes go and shower, but most of the time I'd be like hanging out when it was like time to take showers because that's the only time you got to like hang out with everybody. And you didn't have to fight with like all the various women in the shower and get naked in front of everybody.
100%.
Right?
And the hot temperature and the water running out and becoming freezing cold.
Yeah.
After 3 people took a 10-minute shower, not even 5 minutes, 10-minute shower.
Yeah.
That's not even thought of in the SeaWorld.
You know, the first thing I did
curtains
besides have a
on some of
mental
them.
breakdown, I did love taking an hour shower, like right after I got out of the Sea Org. I was like, I sat in there and I'm like, rub-a-dub-dub, give this bitch a hug. You know, I was literally like all about like
selfish time. We were every time I take a bath still to this day, I swear to God, I can't help but think, oh, the freedom of being able to sit here for an hour if I want in this bath. And I can't help but think I was never allowed to do this in the Sea Org. And even if I was allowed to do the Sea Org on a day off, I would never be taking a bath for myself. No, I would be watching some movie I didn't see, something that was the outside world. It was never about us. It was never about care for us. So like to take a bath right now in the outside world seems like you have all the time in the world.
Hey, now when I get sunburn, I'm like, guess what, bitch? I'm not in lower conditions.
The small freedoms in life. I was talking about how exciting it is to have a freaking Q-tip when you get out of the shower that some human has designed that just gets right in those little nooks of your ear. How sweet. What a smart thing that some human created. These little things that never would we have ever even had joy in finding in the Sea Org. Ever. It would have never crossed our paths.
Buying a pair of jeans. Just saying.
I don't think I ever bought a pair of jeans. I either stole them or it was hand-me-downs. Literally.
Okay. Well.
They gave me that $1,000 when I left, you know?
And
the
$1,000?
How'd you get $1,000? I got $500.
I got 500 and they spent 200 and something of it on a plane ticket. And so I really only had like 250.
Yeah. And the first thing I bought was an iPad mini.
Oh, that must be the new. Well, let's think because iPads weren't around when I got out.
Was it the iPad or the iPod? What did you say? What did you say?
I was so hungry. You know, I had no money because I spent all my money on my iPad mini. That was the first thing. I went to the gallery and I bought it because I, wanted the Mess universe.
You bought it in the Glendale Galleria.
But what did you know that was a way?
St. Louis.
Did you know that there was a way to like start like go on the internet? Did you know really what the internet was? Because I didn't know what the fuck the internet was or anything when I left the Sea Org.
Yeah, I used to read all the negative boards on YouTube and stuff. I went on the internet.
Joking? Are you joking? You're joking.
No,
Louis.
I'm not joking.
He's not joking, Sarah.
I used to love listening to it because I thought they were so stupid, like all the enemy lines that they were saying and stuff. And I loved Tommy Davis, the way he would. Yeah, I used to love how he would like go out there and fight for us. I was all into that. That's how much I was.
Oh, so you were looking, but in supporting of like almost like you could have been hired for OSA.
I'm like,
yeah.
I know Tommy Davis is a real person. It's not that nice.
Yeah,
it is not.
He
is not a nice human being.
What does
Yeah.
he say on his thing? What does he say when he's shouting? "You done it!" When, what is he saying when he gets him?
When he
Oh,
gets
I
him
don't
going.
remember.
Anywho, let's not go there, gross.
I used to love that though when I was in the Sea Org. I went on YouTube
Wow.
and watched
So
it.
then when you were when you got that iPad, you were kind of just like, "I'm free to listen to music videos or YouTube," or what?
I
You were
wanted
just
to
like, "At
own
least I'll
something.
have
I
this."
wanted to own
You
something that
wanted
they
to
weren't
own
gonna
something.
steal from me.
And that was
Yeah.
valuable. That felt valuable.
Oh yeah, I mean, iPad is freaking awesome.
I mean, you owned your uniform, right?
I mean, I had like 4 shirts for like 10 years. It was so nasty.
I was gonna say we didn't even own our uniforms. It was like,
I
"You're
was
out
like,
of
wait a minute,
uniform."
how did you own your uniform? Because
I did
mine
pay
came
for
with
a
the hope and a
suit
prayer.
Yeah,
at
if I was
Christmas
if
for
I
my
was
bonus.
lucky enough to, yeah.
I paid for
Your
a suit, yeah.
your Christmas bonus you spent on new uniform shoes because
Yeah.
they gave you these grandma, like, crazy ass, pokey ass heel shoes that like you're walking and standing on a reception floor, which is marble floor all the time, or you're walking down auditing rooms of
Oh,
clink, clink,
God,
clink.
yeah.
It's everything's marble. So you're standing on cement or marble the whole time in these fucked up shoes that are literally draining your blood down to your feet. And then they have a hole in them because you've been using them for 5 years, and you get a KR for being out PR and out of uniform on public lines while you're auditing somebody on OT7
Yeah. Yes.
who's
Yes.
paying
I
thousands and thousands of dollars a fucking minute basically to be there. It's like, you can't give me some shoes.
well, here's the
Seriously.
question.
What the
They
fuck?
so I'm just saying they never gave us stockings, but we were always required to be in some stockings. I don't know why everybody else had it so easy to put on a pair of stockings, but for some reason I must have been like when God was handing out the instructions for stockings, I must have been in the gay aisle. Because I would sit there and try to put on stockings and I'd get like to the knee and I'd be like, "Ah!" And then instantly I'd have like fingerprints in my nylons and I'm like,
So
nobody noticed.
would you get
Nobody
in
noticed.
trouble
Yeah.
for you would. Would they say you have a runner?
Out uniform.
A runner down your stocking that's out of uniform?
Mhm.
That's out PR. You can't be giving you can't be you can't be EPFIC or anything with running stockings.
Try running while I'm wearing a skirt because I'm supposed to be the EPFIC, and all of a sudden everybody's like, isn't this run fun? You try to run in some heels. I promise. Just try to run in those heels.
Okay, let me roll back really quick. So did Sarah Seltzer, did you ever know Liz Ferris at all by any
I
chance or
was
any
just
reason?
going over that in my
I
head,
feel like I
like,
saw
did
her face
I?
going, she's starting
So
to look
wait,
familiar.
were you at CLO as EPFIC or
She was
No, I was
go ahead.
CC Network.
you were CC? Okay. The only time I might have run into you then, if you were CC, was when I was working on the gala.
And I
As
worked on the
part.
gala oh
So
God.
do you remember
Give me a
seeing Liz
rafter.
running the EPFers on the gala event? That's probably maybe where you saw.
So I was the FLO EPF working
Mhm.
on the gala.
So maybe they mixed them a
Um,
little bit when they needed to do an all hands and get the gala event set up.
I'm trying to remember if we did do. I mean, we built like the stages. We did like a lot of stuff that should have been paid out to like high paid individuals.
Yeah.
instead of a 14-year-old girl who's like figuring out how to put panels in a stage.
Can't figure out nylons, but hey, let me figure out how this IKEA, the IKEA tables go together. You have to flip it and it has to look a certain way. No, I hate IKEA now. I can't stand the idea of putting stuff together now.
Hey,
Unless
Just
it's
send it
like
to me, I'll do it.
yeah, there's people who can help you, Liz.
And then I'll mail it
You
back.
don't gotta hate on IKEA so quick. Okay,
it's
but
taken a while to get IKEA.
So Liz is Celebrity Center. This is interesting. And then Louis and Sarah know each other from Asho, right? Is it Asho Day or Asho Foundation? Is that kind of all the same thing?
Asho Day.
Okay,
Yeah, but
Asho
they
Day.
were very different. Asho F was
I was
like a
gonna-
bunch of underage kids that could barely hold their org together and like often didn't even get full meals because they weren't pulling enough money in.
Wait, so wait a minute. I want
Yeah,
people to
right?
understand this. I want to
That's how-
understand this.
that's-
I want to understand this, and I want people listening to understand this. Asho Day, and Asho Foundation are on the same block, right?
They're the same building. We
They're-
we
okay.
operate in the same building.
Do you
That's-
get where
and
I'm
mind you-
coming from?
Mind you,
Yes.
no, I totally. But you also realize though, even as
It's a
I'm saying
mental
that,
trap. It's a mental trap. You even have
Yeah.
compartmentalized physical things that aren't even physically real. Like, oh, Asho found you two were both just saying it's completely separate. They suck, and they just. But you're in the same building.
She's like, it's like the Yankees and the Red Sox, man.
You're playing the same game.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Even as I'm saying it, it's like, for one, that's like what we were sold. Like, Asho
Yeah.
a bunch of losers. Like, it wasn't their fault. It was a bunch of kids who had no
I
idea
never
what the
knew
fuck
that.
they were doing. You know,
Mhm.
and they're supposed to be like selling again, like this, like, you know, money business to people, and it's like, yeah, they're just like floundering, and instead of like, let's give them a decent meal and a day off so they can feel good about themselves, instead it's just like I remember they worked them so hard and they penalized them like all the time because they were, you know, out ethics or slackers or whatever.
So, okay, quick question to break in on this. What was the difference in terms? Why was it different? Asho Foundation, and in a quick way, don't try to run down the whole
Schedule.
organization.
Schedule, one
Was
word.
it just schedule? Is it nighttime and day shift or something? Kinda
No,
like
it's
that?
just how the Sea Org schedule is worked out. Our schedules are
Well,
different. Our muster
kind of like
times are different, our
starboard and port
locations
on
are
a ship.
different.
Right, but it was night and weekends, Asho F, right, Lou?
Yeah, but they
Were we
were
all
there
nights and
working all
weekends?
the time anyways. They were
Yeah, just like
always
us
on
too.
call-in.
I mean,
So they
But
were in a
so did
different
Asho
location.
Foundation deal with public or something? Or both did, right? Did
Well,
Asho Foundation deal with public? They did.
They
yeah, they
both
had their own
did,
public.
yeah.
What was the difference? Literally, quickly tell me. What's the difference between Asho Foundation, other than the schedule, Asho Foundation, and Asho Day?
By
Captains?
LRH? Are you
Wait,
talking
what?
about by LRH? Are you asking for
Oh.
an LRH answer?
No, I'm just wondering, just as a Sea Org member, if I'm like, hey, by the way, for
Okay,
Asho Day, what's the
okay,
difference between us?
Okay,
They're different
so
orgs. They were two different orgs, right? I mean,
But
they
what
literally,
does that mean? I'm asking
they
you. What
had
does that
different
mean?
captains. Like they had their captain.
why?
We had our captain.
Why? I'm wondering, like, flag crew in the FSO, there's FSO and then there's flag crew. There's FC and FSO. FSO was the service organization that handled all the public auditing and da-da-da. The flag crew handled the land base and stuff like that. So yes, we were still in the same building, in the same areas and seeing things like that. Totally different organizations. What is the difference between Asho Foundation and Asho Day?
Night and day, literally, right? I mean, and weekends.
Is that what
Like,
Louis, why aren't you just
Lou
going,
was
yep,
there
that's
more.
correct.
But yeah, like I'm like,
here's my statement, and maybe it's coming from a kid that grew up in a cult.
Somebody in the chat is definitely being like, blah, 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 just saying exactly.
I know,
Okay,
right? Is
so-
there a chat here? Can I say
I
anything?
thought when I was a kid that Asho Day and that they both had their own part of the building, and then there was supposed to be like something happened where there were supposed to be two separate buildings for them, but they never had the staff to be two separate buildings.
So here's what Day and Foundation is. The Day is supposed to handle the Western United States. That's their public.
Right,
And
that's what I was getting. I knew there
Foundation
was
handles the
something.
greater LA area. So they deal with the nights and the weekends. So part-time public are like the Foundation public.
That come in for like during they get off their job and they might be able to work. They might go to course
Yeah.
on the evenings,
But they're
and
only
then
on
also right,
Mhm.
which are also the out ethics, not so on purpose Scientologists that are like drinking a beer or something on the weekends, and you're trying to get them in for a course at night instead of going to the bar and flirting with another Sea Org Scientologist or something.
Well, and now you reminded me, Lou, how we would often fight over public as well. Like they'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, this one's going this time of day, so they should actually, or they're from LA. And I now remember that. You're reminding me of all of the things.
All of the wonderful
I'm all
bullshit.
suddenly Celebrity Center in the Manor. We're so easy.
Yeah,
Not
CC
not
had a
even
great schedule, and they had
Oh,
such
yeah, they were
cushy birthing, and
yeah,
they had
no
they
biggie.
had such great pay. That's what we were all told.
Yeah, you guys you were
At
the
Astro.
actual celebrities
CC
yourself.
Yeah, we were
was,
also told that we had nice uniforms, and let me tell you,
No,
They
No.
looked nice. They looked
Disgusting.
nice until you bent over, and then they're
Yeah, and then everyone got to
You're
see your
like, "Oh, shit."
chi-chis, and then all of a sudden, oh my God,
You're getting
the
out
out
to the
titty.
report. You're flirting. You're showing your little fat ass titties.
Yeah.
I
but
do remember you had a great cafeteria though. Like your food was way nicer.
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
Yeah. Way
Well,
way nicer than
that's true.
FLO or
It's true.
CLO.
Or what?
Like both
Or
of them.
no, maybe it was just the environment though, and the music, because kind of don't they all have the same thing in the canteens? The bars, the this, the like these are the options you have.
It's
This is what
buffet
we're.
eating.
It's buffet
Yeah,
eating.
but you had much nicer. But I know because I ate there as FLO, like
Oh.
EPFer, and I was like, "Ooh, this is fancy." Even from my FLO cafeteria, which is supposed to be like international.
Yeah, we did have a really good cook. Like, I'll be honest, like I hate chicken pot pie, but he made like the best chicken pot pie.
Ooh.
Even though I don't want to go back into the Sea Org, I would at least have a chicken pot pie with him. As long as it didn't require me to be in the Sea Org.
Just
That's sweet, Liz.
The chicken pot pie, it's right there.
It's those small things that also keep you in the Sea Org that you
No, I'm
think
good. The chicken pot
Yeah,
pie is not that
Hamburger
good.
Tuesday has kept me in the Sea Org. That's a joke.
Oh my God. Yeah,
that's
we could do a
terrible.
whole episode on things that kept us in the Sea Org.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
Because it
we're-
changed over time. So it would be like, oh,
Pies,
now I'm old
ice
enough
cream.
to flirt. Now I'm
Mhm.
yeah. Possibly having being married. Like I never was like,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah, that was never my
Cootie
dream.
birthing.
I can ethically fuck. I can ethically have sex. Is this a thing? Because they've always like canceled everything out of that my whole life. Like, don't flirt, don't do that. Why are you touching the boob? What were you doing? What were you thinking? Where was that going? What was it leading to? Like, and now, so one of the things was getting married, which your only options is in the Sea Org. You can only marry in the Sea Org. So your options are
Yeah.
You can only
literally
marry a
up
boy.
to one or two people. You're kind of like, oh, okay, well, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Am I wrong? And how many times did you almost get married to somebody in the Sea Org where you were like, Liz, didn't you get married or no? Is that
No.
I got married 3 times. I'll tell you all 3 times.
you
I got
slut.
married. Totally. Jennifer.
Totally love it.
Delphi. We went and joined the Sea Org together. We got married. Boom.
Wait,
Wait,
was that
so
Jennifer
Jen-
from Ethics? I'm
Jennifer
seeing a picture of her in
Bubke.
my head.
Yeah, Jennifer Bubke.
Whoa. Okay.
But then we got divorced 3 years later. Then I got
That's
married to Leah
Wait, can we
Silva.
talk about what was not
Well, let me
like
give you
why?
the
Like,
outline first, and then you can ask me about the one you think is the one you want to ask about. How's that sound?
well, I was just gonna say when you first divorced the first one,
Yeah.
because sometimes these divorce and stuff happen because you got transferred to another post and then you're not seeing them anymore
to
and
a higher org.
That was the
Yeah.
second one. That happened to me on the second one. She moved
Okay,
to
and
CC.
okay,
She got.
okay.
She
And
was a
then the first one were
Duggan
you just out of
family
love
auditor.
or it wasn't a really
Dugan.
wasn't out of love? I can't even say that.
So the
The
first
first one were
one,
you why did you divorce really quickly?
we were working together, and it was just a pressure cooker. In
You annoyed the
HCO,
shit out of
we
each
worked
other.
in security
Oh
department for
God.
Ash O'Day. And
Wow.
it was just we were at each other's throat on post, and then we weren't allowed to talk to each other about anything. And then it just slid downhill. We
Okay,
just
so yeah. So you're working together and then they fucked it up because you can't be yourselves around each other all the time anyways.
we can't even talk
Dude,
to
you
each
also-
other about our feelings.
You can't exactly.
We're not
It's
allowed
not
to talk
allowed
about
because
our
it's
feelings.
N theta.
That's
N
case.
theta
No,
because you
that's your
guys are on
case. You
high
can't talk about your
ethics
case.
posts. Yeah. That's
So-
crazy. Okay, so second one, the second one you were married was because they moved to another thing, and you're like, oh well, we're not married, and we're not gonna go be at the same org, so we got to move on, right? That's a kind of like the only reason you really divorce somebody is because they're the Sea Org member has moved to another organization, and
I
you're like,
moved
hey, they're
over
never
there, though.
coming back.
I moved
You
over
moved
there.
back to you went
Yeah,
you got how did you get permission to you got okay to move there because your wife is there?
Yes.
So that's
Mhm.
another thing is they do want to keep you in the Sea Org and say, hey, look, we're working with you. We understand that you have this commitment with your beautiful wife. And so we're going to meet you halfway since you're so dedicated to being in the Sea Org. We're going to let you go be with your wife somewhere in a close organization.
But I'm guessing you had to probably write a request, right? And send it up line.
I had to
Or
get
CSW.
approved. I had to get approved
Exactly.
by a
I
religious
was gonna
technology
say-
center to
Yep.
live at Celebrity
Wow.
Center. Yeah, I had to get approved through all
Wow.
security,
So the one directly
security.
across the
I
street
had to
instead
get a
of
sec check,
Wilcox.
a confessional. I had to get everything to get over there, you know?
That's what I'm saying about that's why I first was like, why did you leave your first wife? Why did you leave your second? Because in the Sea Org,
Because
you're
of the
either
Sea
like
Org.
my mom and dad, they were married, committed to each other in the Sea Org Scientology frame of mind. They're never going to get divorced, right? So to hear that even that my mom and dad have been separated for so long and know that there's a possibility that they're just not together and they're just not going to tell anybody because they're trying to keep the PR in of Scientology or whatever it is. It's just incredible because it never has anything to do with the couple or the people that love each other or they're possibly in a marriage. It's always about what is the best for Sea Org and Scientology. And if that means keeping them together in an organization so they feel that we actually care and that we're not neglecting their marriage, then we'll help them do that so that they'll stay longer in the long run. Right?
Yes.
That's why I'm
You
talking about.
nailed it.
Okay, so third wife, what happened with the third wife? You wanted to leave the
Bonnie,
Sea Org?
I wanted to leave and I couldn't
I
tell
knew
her.
it.
I couldn't talk to her
Exactly.
about it.
So that's the thing. It wasn't even actually, I mean, not that you ever had like a great start anyways to be with your, oh, this is going to be a great marriage, but like they control every aspect no matter what.
Yeah, she was actually at Int too. She used to work at Gold. Bonnie.
What's her name? Bonnie.
Bonnie Mason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I'm sure a lot of people know her. I'm just
It's weird that
me
I
was a
know all
Probably.
these different people. Like the Jennifer Bubke, my first wife, she works with Julian Schwartz. She was like the excellent guru administrative writer for all of these programs and things for Julian Schwartz on these like sticky public situations. And then boom, Leah Silva I'm married to, she's out auditing the Duggan kids and recovering the Dugans or Duggans, and now they're like 350 million in with
yeah.
Scientology.
Yep, and I
And then
remember
I'm
them,
married to
the
Bonnie
Dugans.
Mason. She's like
Yeah.
fucking gold. She probably witnessed Dave Miscavige beating people. You know, I had
All the
no
time.
idea. And she was always emotional. I didn't how could I ever care for her? She could never tell me anything that happened
Right.
to her or that she ever saw. It just hurts me so bad, you know?
But also you now understand that it can also heal the not know of like
Yeah.
why weren't oh now I understand why because you were at Gold and you weren't allowed to say any of that. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now this is why it hurt me so much. I thought it was about me, but it was being me, my thoughts and everything that I thought was real were all being manipulated around me.
Yeah, even in her folders, like, I
Inner piece
audited
of
her
everything.
to
Yeah.
help her get back on the bridge and stuff, and I read and I did a whole thing on all her folders, and it's redacted, like, the information from Gold is redacted regarding her. It's just n it's like,
Oh
That
yeah,
I
means
they
she
couldn't
did
knows a
that.
even
lot of
get
No,
the
no.
shit.
information to help her.
Yeah. No, they had a whole unit of people that were Gold approved and that went to Gold and that were allowed to go through all the cadet PC folders. All the like there were people at Flag who were not allowed to look at any of the Int Ranch cadet folders because it had too much information about the Gold base and Int Ranch and things that went wrong and all kinds of things. Like so even when we were shipped off from the Int Ranch to the EPF at Florida, and to wherever else there are certain people that there were only certain people that were allowed to look in those folders because of the fact that we were raised at the Int Ranch.
Wow. That's yeah.
Do you remember Amanda Smith or Sasha or not Sasha? Why am I
I do
forgetting
remember
his
a
name?
Sasha, a cadet. Sasha.
Sasha
No, Sasha.
LaPlane.
Yeah.
No,
Sasha LaPlane was at the Int Ranch.
Robin. Sorry, it's Robin Smith. It's Amanda and Robin Smith.
I remember a Robin Smith. Yes, I remember Cecilia Smith.
I don't
No?
know Cecilia, but I
Were they
know
at CC Asho?
Robin was at, or Robin is the girl. Or okay, let's rewind that. Robin is the brother. Amanda Smith was at Asho, and then she got taken to Gold.
Doesn't ring a bell right now. What year was it? Do you have any idea?
Sometime when I was a child. the same way I reiterate most of my childhood. At some point in time, I was a kid.
This
I
chunk
don't
of
know.
time.
Yeah.
This chunk of time. From
don't
1
know.
years old to 10.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. Somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, we move on. Okay, Renee B. Question: was showering with others super uncomfortable? Doing group showers after PE in high school was super uncomfortable. No one likes their own body at that age. I don't know about that last part. No one likes their own body at that age, but was showering with others super uncomfortable? That's what we did our whole lives. Showering with elderly men, or obviously women. Just for Sea Org, you're only allowed to be women and men unless you're
Mhm.
married in the Sea Org. That's it. There's no other gray zones of any sort whatsoever. You are not to be sleeping in a room with another woman if there's a male in there at all whatsoever, no matter what age, whatever. There's women dorms and female and males. And then there, it doesn't matter their age. It doesn't matter if you're a young 19-year-old or if you're gay or straight and you're a grandmother of, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a woman pedophile. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your auditing level is. It doesn't matter anything. They shove you in. You're in the Sea Org. You're a body. You're not, you shouldn't be aberrated. You shouldn't be thinking that anything other than your job and your post. And if you are, we're going to audit that out and find that out about you. That's as pretty simple as it gets. And if you feel weird about elderly women or people above your, just older than you changing around you and you seeing things that you've never seen before, then that's on you. That's
I
on
Yes.
you.
remember
And
reports
we're going to
in
audit. Yeah.
ATO
Yeah. I'm
about
reporting
people
so-and-so
shitting in
for,
the showers and like pissing in the shower, and then other people would write them up. Blah blah blah. Pee in the shower just before I
yeah,
took a shower. It's like
I
like the
remember
weirdest shit.
one
it's all
time
shower stuff.
when I was in the EPF, there was a woman on there that was in her 60s. Now I was 17. So the first time I saw her naked, I almost ungayed myself. And then look over and she's rubbing herself down with my towel. And I've never wanted to cry so much in my life.
Mm.
And then all I could think of as a kid is like, why do I care that her naked old body is on my towel? If I care. But that's all we had. We never had like group showers. Like we had the one shower at the
But not the bigger picture. I mean, not bigger, but why is this elderly human using your towel? Why does this person not have their own towel? Why are they using the same toothbrush, same toothpaste? Why are you asking me to borrow a shaver? Why? All of this. Why do you smell like you haven't showered for a week? There's all these abnormal things from people who are either underage, who had never learned or an experience in this life or any sort of life where that's a norm,
People
or
wear
you're
flip-flops.
elderly and you are, no, none of this. Flip-flops,
what did I
that's
miss?
beside, that's a
You
joke.
gotta wear flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
Heck yeah,
That's
because
all
some of
you
those
need to do.
girls had athlete's foot and their feet would smell
Yeah.
like it would smell through towels and it would smell through layers of no. I did not know athlete's foot had a smell until the Sea Org.
Mhm. I got it in FLO
That's a
EPF actually, and I didn't know how to treat it, and so I got it was some sort of, it might have been Epsom salts even, but I didn't, like, I was 14, I never treated this before, like, and again, it was going around our dorm, and so I was just having to deal with it. I put it directly in
Oh,
my
yeah.
shoes. With it in
I
like
heard about
burning,
that.
so much pain, and like, 'cause I had no fucking clue. I was supposed to soak my feet in
You know what
water,
else?
which we didn't have time to do anyway, right?
That's
Bed
what I'm
bugs.
saying. When are
Bed
you gonna have
bugs.
time? You don't have time for a
Oh,
bath
bed
or
bugs. Oh, God.
whenever,
Oh, bed bugs.
even when a doctor said like, oh, she should rest or take it easy, they were like, oh,
Mm-mm.
but she's fine to do the regular school or regular, if a doctor, if they would, you would go in an emergency room. And the doctor would be like, oh, well, yeah, they should be fine to just go back to regular activities, but just take it easy. Regular activities was work and muster
Yeah,
and
go
get
back
in
to
line
your
and wake.
same job.
And so heavy work was like, okay, we'll just have her wipe down the tables while the other people scrub the toilets and dig the trenches. So she can't use the shovel because she just broke her arm and she hit her head really hard. So they're not thinking, it's just like they're just insane. Like, oh, so regular work means still you're getting up at 6:30, you're getting at this time. It's just insane. Like I legitly had a concussion and my head, I had to go to the emergency. They did a CAT scan and they were saying that my brain had been hit so hard. It was almost like my brain was still vibrating from the thing. And so I was having these dizzy kind of like I would be awake, but it would be vibrating and it would just shut down my brain basically. And it was because I had crawled into the maintenance shed to get, because the adult that was supposed to be there was late, didn't open up the shed for all the kids to get all their tools. I'm saying kids because that's literally what we were, but cadets, to go get their tools to do all their gardening, the projects to keep the property nice and perfect, to make us look beautiful and happy all the fucking time. And so during this time, okay, the adult didn't show up. Kimberly Alcock lifted me up through the window and I said, okay. And I let go of the window frame to go forward to jump in. And she thought I said more or something. And she lifted me up. So I lost balance and went head first, hitting my head, and woke up to like the adult who should have opened the shed going like, okay, I don't know how long that took. And they opened. Anyways, and long story longer, all I'm saying is that there's so many things that we thought were just so normal. Like all these things, these normalized things where everything in every situation of everything I just said was completely abnormal. There's no reason. There's no reason for a person at any point in pain, even you, Liz, when you had your sunburns, or when my friends, so I know from the cadet, or who get assigned treason for hats not wearing because they had to go lay down on their bunk bed, completely uncared for. It's not like, oh, you took time off of your work or your post job. Now you're going to go, we're going to give you time to, no. You're not even being cared for properly. You're being told like, what did you do to pull this in? Well, now somebody's going to have to give you a nerve assist or a touch assist when you have a sunburn. Like, why? Because L. Ron Hubbard says this is how you handle the body.
Yep.
Body calm. Nobody should be touching you when you have a sunburn. There's just basic things that were so normal. Like, oh, I don't want to tell her my sunburn hurts this much because then I'll get assigned treason. Because I just saw what happened to the other cadet who did that. And so we grow up into the Sea Org with this person, with this state of mind. I was going to say with this personality. Yeah, with this personality. And so you're just getting older, growing. Your body is still growing. And so things are maturing. You're going to turn into fucking crazy. I'm so happy that we're not these psycho people. I mean, sometimes we can get there, but I'm just so glad we're alive and that we're talking about it. Like, this is just crazy, right? And Sarah, thank you for being here, you sweet angel, and everything. All of y'all.
Always. I know for me, I never got a touch assist. They would always assign me a nerve assist when I got sunburns. And it would be like you're gripping the pillow and because don't make a sound. If you make a sound, then you're in trouble.
See, I actually have a memory of nerve assist being a positive in that, because I was on the FLOEPF for 6 months, and whenever I'd get my period, we'd get to stop being on decks and go, me or somebody else, another woman that would, it's like, okay, cool, we're having cramps, so we have to go get a nerve assist. And it was like a moment where we could actually lie down and be away. And even if it was just one other person, it was just, oh, there's only one other person with me. And we're being productive still while we're in that sort of like quiet, intimate space. I had, one friend in particular at Masha Lenikova, and she was, it was actually nice to do that, rather than everything else, just everything else.
Yeah, that's true.
The running everywhere in heels definitely probably didn't help my legs.
No. Yeah. I sorry I keep laughing about things that aren't fun. It's almost because I don't know what else to do but laugh.
Don't say sorry. We all do it.
Well, but I also take it all the time. I take it all to heart.
It's hysterically. We do. It is. But all we can do is laugh, because otherwise we can't be on the stream. We will literally have cry. Oh, you want us to really feel how we're feeling?
You want it? Here it comes.
You saw me at the protest twice now. It's not quiet.
Yeah,
it's quite loud. It's quite psychotic.
No, it's not.
I think we should all do the money thing that you were doing earlier. What was it? How'd you do it, Laura?
Did something. So
You were like,
I don't know.
Trying to get that
mm,
money. It's all about that
there we go.
money. Trying to get that.
Screenshot. Yeah, it's all about that money.
Look at us now. And we also need to get the horns. We need to get the. So Jeff Hawkins told me tonight on the my
This is
last
I Love You.
episode. This is rockers, right? And then this
Mhm.
is the
Okay.
I love
I love
you.
you.
Right.
The
Oh yeah, that's I love you. Lucy
sign
knows
language
that.
for I love you. So
Do
you
it.
I love you, rock on. I love you, rock on. I love you, rock on. So you just say that. Love you, rock on. Good, Sarah. You're exercising those thumbs.
Oh, trust me, Pilates instructor right here.
Hold on. I'm the one that needs to exercise those.
Yeah, it's good for you. You gotta get
No, it
stretch
feels
that
so
that
good. It's good for
myofascia.
everybody.
It's good. It's great. You know.
Come to me. Come
The
to
new
like,
objective
everybody.
process.
I feel gayer than I normally
Put your
am.
hands against. Oh my God. Put your hands against mine. Everybody now. Put your hands against mine. Follow them and contribute to their emotion.
Into their emotion.
Is it emotion or motion?
Nope. I might pee for that.
What is it? I'll repeat the command. Put your hands against mine. Follow
Follow
them
them and contribute to their motion.
and contribute to
Did
their
you
motion.
contribute to their motion?
Did you? Ew, I should just let Lou audit. All right, Lou's auditing.
Seriously.
No, you go. I
So-
like
so wait.
following your commands. Come
I'd
on.
like
So
to. I'd
gross.
like to share something as we're speaking and saying this, because I've been doing some of my spiritual work that I do recently, and
Yes.
something that came up for me, this masculine aspect that I learned from my father from Scientology, where I can be so myopic, which I already came to learn that, but it's also I can be just so the myopic focus and the kind of large I'm like big, but I'm like disregarding the wellness of others around me. And it can be for like a split second that comes up. And I actually caught it the other day where I was like, whoa, what was that? And it was like this emergence of what like this patterning that I learned, like this like thought contribute to the we were all contributing to the emotion of Scientology and how to make it work in just the right way, the way that we're supposed to do it, per policy, and also, according to the orders we were being given. And just as we're like sharing these things, I'm like, I don't know, it was so clear to me for the first time where I saw this sort of sociopathic aspect of myself, that mirrors the way Scientology perceives the world.
Right. And how they repeat, like how they actually put your hands against mine. Follow. They have repetitive hypnotic motions. You're physically just like people do during yoga, breathing. They're physically doing things over and over so that they can get back to themselves. So they're making you, like we say, reprogram. They change you who you are. They're trying to change the person you are to be that. Do this and follow them and contribute to their motion. Did you contribute? Are you following the rules? Are you thinking another way? Well, that's backflash. Let's get back in session. Did you not do it? Well, let's pull his withholds. Did you fuck that? Like it's literally all. It goes.
They never did that in mine.
Let's go to your sexual history. Now, where did this come from? Was that an aberrated thought? When did you fuck the dog? All of a sudden you're talking about, like, it's just insane how it's insane. You know what's insane? For people to try to think that there was actually some decency about Scientology. And the truth is, when things like that start to make sense, it's because that information was stolen through something that was meant to heal and help somebody meditate through something. And they changed it over time. L. Ron Hubbard changed it into his black magic Scientology. I'm going to take all of these other studies that other people and do something completely insanely manipulative instead of doing something great for our future and for humanity. I'm going to make a whole nother language and call it Scientology and make people feel that they're still human in this planet, but that they're superior because they have more knowledge. And it will look the same because it's stolen information
Subjugated,
from
right?
everybody else. Yeah. So they're gonna be like, oh, well, it kind of makes sense. No, wrong. That's the whole point, is he's trying to pretend that this ever was his own information or own research, or knowledge given to him. Absolutely not. This was stolen info. Follow his track. Follow who his friends were. Follow where he lies and says he went to the military and what awards he got. Just follow it. Do the research. Everything. Look, people, if you watch 48 Hours or crime videos, all these things, there's DNA. You can go back and research and figure out the facts about things without hearing anybody's thing. You can literally get all the information, and you will find that this man created in the same yuck and the same manipulation he started it with is what all of us were becoming and became a part of. And that's why we apologize when we're like, I'm so sorry I did that to you in there, because that wasn't us. I'm so sorry I acted that way. I'm so sorry I was on some kind of poisonous drug, hypnotic, like I'm, and as humans, we're now feeling these things and we're going, I'm so sorry I did that because I can feel now. And that's so horrible that I was put in that situation for all of us.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
When I got in my first fist fight, it became apparent because the person kept yelling at me. Did any of you guys go into your TR0 drills if you were ever being yelled at, where the person could just continue screaming at you until you can antagonize them?
Yeah, that was a good, useful one. So
I
you
don't think
say
I ever
nothing, you
actually
just
did
stare at
that.
them?
Say nothing and just stare at them?
Wait.
Yeah,
I don't know. Whatever
totally.
Liz, whatever you just said, I didn't get it, but it triggered me in an angry way. What did you just ask? Because that made like, yes, whatever. Probably it's yes, because I already feel angry about it. But what was the question?
So like when you get into a fight, do you go immediately into TR0 where the person could just be yelling at you and you're saying absolutely blank face, like you just don't care?
Yeah.
And they're just yelling and yelling and yelling. And all I can think in those moments is, oh, they don't have their TRs in. This will work to my advantage.
Right. They're losing it. They're losing their thing. But yes, I've definitely been angry toward the person that was yelling at me, and I had to keep my TRs in, and that made me angry that I had to keep my TRs in instead of just saying what I felt, which is like, man, you're yelling at me. What do you like? Why are you
Oh,
yelling?
yeah.
It's
Okay.
already wrong. Instead of just saying what I wanted to say as a natural human being, I had to keep my TRs in. And that made me so angry that I couldn't just be myself and heal the situation as I could have in my natural way in 5 seconds, instead of just having to keep my TRs in because that was so programmed in my head.
Was that in the Sea Org for you then?
Leaving the Sea Org and being on new jobs, this happened. This happened
Okay.
literally being in a new job where somebody was just so angry that I was working so much and doing so much work and making everybody else sort of look bad. And I was saying, I don't have any control of that. And I was like, well, maybe you should just work harder. And I was like, why did I get in trouble for that? Why is this person angry at me for it? And I was like, I'm not even working that hard. I have so much free time. I'm excited to come to work because I was so used to working
Yeah,
on
we
the Sea Org all the
definitely
time.
we definitely have a much different work ethic
And
than a lot of people.
not
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and then being paid what, 10, 8, whatever, $8 an hour, whatever the minimum wage was, and doing the work of like 3 people. They were kind of being like, can you fucking get her out of here? She's fucking killing us. And no, when we leave work, we have lives, you know. And
Yep.
I'm like, well, I got to pay my freeloader bill, and this is a Scientology company, so they know why I'm working hard. Here I come! Watch out, gung ho!
I started saving mine. Like, okay, this is how much I want to put towards it, but instead of actually sending it to them, I put it in a savings account. And then as soon as I had the money to pay it off, I'm like,
yeah, I'm gonna go buy an Apple iPad, just like Leo.
I'm not sending it in for my freeloader because nope.
I think that, I think that happened with my brother. That happened with so many people. Like when they leave and they finally are saving up to do the right thing. And then they're kind of like, they're starting to learn the world at the same time as they're also saving up money to pay their freeloader bill, but they're starting to learn the world. So at the same time, they're kind of like, well, that freeloader bill isn't going to ruin my credit, and it's not going to like get in the way of any of these things that if I put this money towards this could get me a car and I can actually get to and
Yep.
from work to make more money. So then you start to think, okay, and then they come at you like, oh, well, I thought you were saving up money. Well, I was, but then I had to get a car. But that's good because in the long run, I'll be able to start paying you guys more money because I can get to and from work. And so you have to like explain yourself why you're not paying your freeloader bill. Didn't you guys get that? Like somebody being like, hey man, when are you getting back online? What's going on?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got
Yeah.
That's so intrusive.
it's your
That is so
responsibility to handle this.
But that is so wrong, guys. I want all y'all listening. This is such a wrong thing for any organization, group, religion, cult, anything to literally saying, when are you going to be paying us back and getting back in our brainwashing mechanism once you've learned that the outside world is just a mess universe?
You mean once you're flipping
Right.
burgers and that's the best you can do?
They're literally saying, oh, are you having fun? Well, it's actually fake. Like they're trying to convert you back in even when you're in the real outside world, like in your life, like finally.
And it's the
So
greatest.
you're going, I'm not going to give this money. I don't want to give this $6,000 that I just saved. I'd rather go get that $3,000, keep working, put the $3,000 on my down payment to get that overly expensive truck because I'm being fooled in that way too, because they can tell I don't know, I've never bought a car before. So they're giving me the worst deal, but I think I'm so lucky. It just all sucks. It all sucks. Oh my God. Back to the fucking, what jobs did you have when you left the Sea Org?
I really did flip burgers. And you know what? I loved it.
Way better than the Sea Org.
Nobody was yelling at me. You had
That
a couple
sounds
people
fun.
Yeah.
be like, my burger
Throwing
was
some
raw.
cheese on there. You're like, raw, I'll make you a new one. No problem. Got you.
No problem.
I'll
had
pay
the
for
best
it.
time
I'll
ever.
pay for it if I fucked up, I got it. I don't mind the 75 cents or whatever it is. Like, wow.
I did. I loved
I would
it.
say one of the things though I would say is that I didn't understand the concept of holding a job when I left the Sea Org. So again, like overworking, like doing too much, and then people being like, why are you working too much or making us all look like fucking idiots, is one of the first reasons why I got let go, so to speak, from the first job I ever did, which was at Pete's Blue Chips in Eagle Rock. And that's because I was pawned off to the Burpees family. And Tom and Lori
wow,
Burpee.
really?
Do you know them?
I think
Yeah.
it was on FLOPF with their daughter.
Jenny
Jennifer.
Burpee.
Yeah, Jenny Burpee.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Wait, really?
What? Was that a cuss word?
R.I.P. R.I.P. Yeah,
No,
she's
how?
no longer.
When?
She's no longer. Not too long ago, 6-7 months ago. Jenny Burpee unalived herself.
No
And that
way.
was going on many. Oh yeah. So I want people to know that are watching. There are these are people that are connected to major hardcore Scientologists. Her parents are Tom and Lori Burpee, who work for the Way to Happiness Foundation. They're all over Los Angeles, Glendale. And I don't even know if they're married or still together or whatever, but they are hardcore and they're great people. They were sweet people. Like when I tried to live with them when I knew nothing about the world, and when their son, I forget his name, was trying to have sex with me, literally, at the house that I was at. It was just like, and their like I liked it. It was fun. It was a new world. I didn't understand the concept of anything, like keeping a
Were
job.
you talking to her?
Who?
Did you talk to Jennifer like before it happened?
Her family, the reason that no. We're gonna talk about that privately.
Okay.
We'll talk about Jenny Burpee privately until I can have an episode just for Jenny Burpee.
Okay.
And I want to do that for her. So, and you guys are all welcome. Everybody's welcome for that. I want to do that specifically for Alex Nunn, who also, anyways, there's some people that I really want to do that for. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that in that episode for them, so that at least it's on the record and everybody can talk about it and people can, woo. So anyways, back to,
sorry.
Yes. They all went to the Inn Ranch. They were cadets at the Inn Ranch for years. Yeah. Their whole family. And their Bernadette Nunn and their family, their mom and dad went, or not their dad. Their dad is, the one they always were like not allowed to be connected to, I'm PTS to my dad apparently because he's out. He's not in the Sea Org. But she was at INT their mother was at in
Okay.
and me and Alex Nunn were me, Alex Nunn, and Sarah Leobard were like a tripod best friend clique forever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like I was friends with other, obviously, like Susie Flood and Lauren Hollander, everybody that else. But like when Alex Nunn, me, and Sarah Leobard, we would do gymnastics. We were doing dances, like making up things that we never showed any. We did so many things that were actually like fun together. And we were really close, super, super close. Like, and I saw him in Hawaii. And then 6 months later, about that, I got this, anyways, we'll talk about that later for all these people on their own episodes, but we can also talk about that privately now that we all have connected on SPTV on YouTube.
Yes.
Keeping it light. And also for their own sake, I'm so glad we're all, like it shows that we all have love and intimate reasons why we have so many what happened, what I knew that, and oh, you knew that. So it's just like people need to have their space. They need to have that the platter of like, here's your platter of words that were never allowed to be said, and here are comments and love from people that love you so much and totally understand why and everything, why you went through and how. And so it's a lot, so we'll decompose it all and open it all up at the same time for that moment.
Open up a can of worms.
But so where were we talking? Oh yeah. So we were talking about like, so leaving. Yeah. I was just kind of slapped off into Eagle Rock with the burpees, and I never met them, but my parents knew them from Toronto, Canada. Like that's how they knew them. And that's how there was some kind of, oh yeah, we know you from, and Tom and Lori Burpee are always there trying to help, the upper echelon, Sea Org members that need help, or somebody in the Sea Org needs somebody help. They're the public Scientologists that are going to go. They're almost like Sea Org Scientologists. Like they're always at the Way to Happiness Foundation in Glendale. They're always part of the mission. They're always doing like their job. They really are like OT 5s or 6, whatever. They're trying to really, their heart, whether even if Tom isn't full-time, maybe just does courses and it's not like as OT as Lori, but whatever it is, they are under the deep umbrella of Scientology, their kids and everybody. So, anyway, so one of the jobs I had was working at that restaurant, and I was just I was like doing the cashier, cleaning, nothing. And people were just kind of like getting in trouble for slacking because they didn't have things to do. But I was also like, well, then maybe we don't need them. Like, and I was just saying, like, maybe they should go do something that's totally oblivious and totally just unaware of what I was saying or doing. Like, I didn't understand the company or an organization. Like, I didn't understand a real business. Like,
yeah, I was a real piece of shit at work.
But on purpose or
no,
not?
when I left
Not
the
on
Sea Org
purpose.
and I was in the WOG world, I would confront people like to their face, like, you didn't do a
because you're
good
like,
job
hey,
on this
yeah,
thing.
right.
And I was
right.
just their peer. I didn't know
Wow.
that you're not supposed to do that in the WOG world,
You were like, hey man, I'm
That's
going to
how
send you to
stupid
cramming.
kind of stupid I was.
What was your first job, Lou?
My first job, I worked at Noodles and Company, like a restaurant. Then I worked at Walgreens for a little bit. Then I worked at the Home Depot for 9 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So Scientology is going to go to the Home Depot now and find all the bad things that they can find from them and then put it on a website.
Oh no, they're going to call to mess with Home Depot. That's gonna drain Scientology's money. That's Home Depot. Yeah, they don't care.
Yes.
They're like, we ain't going down that political road. That's not only a political thing. That's like Home Depot could bring Scientology to court if they needed to. Like they could also drain. They have money to drain. Where Scientology, most people always wonder, like, why don't people bring Scientology to court? Why doesn't somebody bring? Why don't the kids just go in and do it? It's because we don't have the time to get our money drained and our physical energy drained and harassed just when one person is ready to go and do it. No, we need to have a lot of us doing this. It can't just be.
Yeah.
So
because realistically, they're gonna
drain your
take
life
us to the laundry.
It's like if you're playing a video game, are you going to let this freaking crazy tank just knock the crap out of you and lose all your... No, you're going to be running, collecting first aid as much as you can so you're prepared for the big strike or whatever it is to take them down. Anywho, Wow, I'm getting carried away.
I actually
I'm
did
kicking
some
down.
really silly stuff when I left the Sea Org. I went down this main street and I left my resume underneath all the doors and I put my social security number in there. Wasn't that? I mean, that's how I didn't. So
Wait,
I
I
ended up
did
working. I
something
got a
silly.
job
Why did
somewhere.
you do the social security number? So that they could
I
just
didn't
I
know.
run
put it
it?
on my resume. I put it on my resume.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be super professional and legit
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
transparent.
I even put the little letter that the Church of Scientology made about me, which was
Oh
like
my
one
God.
paragraph. Louis
Like-
Repetto is good at studying.
My first resume was literally figuring out ways to fancy up Scientology.
Mhm.
Like literally like
Yeah. Like how to
multiple
turn
trained.
yeah, or how to turn an ethics MAA job into like I was a business consultant for the
Yeah.
ethical side of the of
Mhm.
Yep.
the for Pacific Paving Stone, which is
I
a Scientology company.
I
I
just did all the
would
mess work.
That's another job I did.
All the mess
like when
work
I got in
did.
trouble and put on decks. There was one time that they were doing like a cleanup or like a mass mailing where they wanted so many like individually signed mail letters going out, and all of a sudden I got pulled. And if you didn't complete like 30 in a day, you were but that happened, and I remembered sitting there like, oh, you have not been on the bridge for so long. How do you make that fancy on a resume? Like hunting people down so they get back on the bridge.
I cleaned 10,000 dishes, you know.
Or
So
yeah,
I was a
right. The
professional
whole
pot cleaner.
I cleaned fucking I cleaned up those, especially if you're trying to get a job at a company that doesn't require anything. Like, so yeah,
Mhm.
for a hotel cleaning job, like a hotel job, I don't know why I never went and worked at a hotel, but anyways, a real hotel. But like for even when I got demoted, like so points I would put like, oh, at one point I was the programs operator, right? So I was trying to convert the programs operator into I was a business consultant running programs for Scientology, the estate side and the service side. So I'd be like on, and so it really was legit, but also at the same time it was like I could also be like, I was stainless steel cleaning all the gold and marble. I was able to clean marble.
Mhm.
I can clean special detailed marbling, cement floor. I know how to pressure wash. I know how to dig trenches. I can do the
Yeah.
PVC piping in a garden. I can reinstall all of your water and I can dig up your old sprinkler and reline it up where you want it to go and PVC and do it. I was like, I was like, my resume is fucking endless if I just don't put Scientology,
Yeah. That's true.
which I did. And so, so what did I do? You said you put your social security. I went with Jason Spallino. I don't know if you know him. Not. I know Sarah
Yeah,
knows
I
him
know
very
him.
well. I went with Jason Spallino in his beat up freaking Volvo that was like kind of like a friend loaned him $500 to buy from somebody. He was like, it works. The mechanics he said his work is a good, and it was good, but it was like, brrr, it was like a loud Volvo, like whatever. I, I'm a go like that for now. So we went in his Volvo and I was like, hey, Jason, this is serious. I need to get a job. And I wrote a letter. Hi, my name's Megan Anderson. And I'm really good at cleaning, organizing. I think I use Scientology words in there, like dekludging. I was like, I can
Oh,
dekludge any
yeah.
space. I was using so many and anyways, and I was like, please, I was like, I'm 19 years old or whatever it was at the time. And I put this letter, I made a bunch of copies and signed it and like wrote like 50 of them. And I wrote with highlighters and things like this, like, um, please call me to make it look natural. And like, oh, here's a highlighter and here's my signature. Like, I'll be waiting for your call or whatever it was. And
Heck yeah.
we went with his Volvo
Get it, girl.
all the way up Bel Air, all the way up to all the fancy, big, huge houses. And with all of these houses that we put it in, we had put in the mailbox, like there was like 10 mailboxes for this one huge estate that this house manager that ran the whole estate would there was like 8 mailboxes for all the different houses in case they wanted to keep it private. But anyways, he ran the whole estate. So he would go into all of the mailboxes, and out of all it kept getting this letter, and each one was handwritten and personalized, like, please call me back and I can do anything, just give me a chance. And then Dillip, his name's Dillip, finally called me and he said, you know, the reason I called you, got a few calls. Like one lady looked like Cher, but like old lady. I don't know if she was her mom or something. Anyway, had like a German Shepherd. I was like, Jesus, this house is crazy. She was like, what kind of work? She was like, okay, well, we'll see. I don't know. I had no idea. Like, I just came in like, yep, I can do whatever you need. Yep, okay, great, thank you, bye. Like, and then some people called, some didn't. This guy called and he said, the reason, like, hello, hi, Megan, okay, come tomorrow, just see whatever, we'll meet. Very sweet Indian guy, right? He said, the reason I called you is because each letter was so different and you put him in all of the mailbox. He was like, let me show you. And he brings me into the property, and he shows me that house and over there. Okay. And across the valley, he shows me in the gates. We're in this huge gate of property. And he's like, I own that. So I thought, wow, he's so impressive. This girl, whatever. I'm doing the worst accent, but he was just saying it's so impressive that this 19-year-old went to all these boxes and mailboxes without and put them in there. Please, somebody give me a job. I can clean. I can do anything. He was like, why not? Why not give you a chance? That's what he was saying. Why? Why not? Are you going to kill me? Are you a serial killer? I was like, no, I was born
I'm
and
just
raised.
an ex-psychologist.
Yeah. And he was kind of like, oh, okay. Okay, I will talk to the boss. And so then they
You
gave
crazy
me
like Tom Cruise?
yeah, like
Yeah.
they would anyway. So that's a whole
No.
nother thing. But that's one of my jobs. I ended up being the uncle. He's the house. He ran the whole property, but he worked for the uncle who's the boss. And his nephew was like a 37, 8-year-old guy at that time. And he was going to UCLA, kind of chubby, like, hey, bring me here, do this. Oh, go to Trader Joe's, shop. And so I was like, okay. I was just like doing everything. I was just like shopping for the rich guy's nephew and making sure he's going to UCLA to get these, his credentials so that he can own the banks in the future. They're like really rich billionaires. Crazy job I left. Job I got when I left, and that's how I got it too with my friends. It was really fun.
Hey, that's brilliant though, considering like I
don't even think that's legal now. I just had no idea. How would I know? I'm like, no, a mailbox is for letters. You put letters in for the person you're trying
Make it
to
go
read
right.
with green on white. Get it? Green on the white paper.
I heard it.
I should put that in a song.
I'm getting there, Louis. Louis.
As long as it doesn't sound like I got green on it, messing with that endo weed.
Hey, that's nice. Did you come up with that, Liz?
No.
I got 5 on it. Oh my God! Wow,
Good
guys.
song, though.
You guys are a fun. What do you call this? A quad? We're a fun quad of interesting topics, especially
No. That's where we had muster.
Oh, good one.
Oh, wait, what about the horseshoe?
We had the quad, right? Right? That's where we were.
Yeah, on the EPF we had the horseshoe though. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Is
on
it
the
the
quad,
same area?
Asher Day was in the quad for sure.
But what's the quad? Is it the same area?
The brick area between
What's
main
the difference
building and
between-
Asho.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the horseshoe is
the outside security on Catalina, North Catalina.
Right.
So like I'm thinking like that side entrance. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Where the side entrance goes?
Yeah, it's got the palm
like
trees.
the canteens on the other side.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Wow.
I got married in the quad to Bonnie by Cosmo Sherman. Did you know him? Anyone?
That sounds
No.
familiar.
Oh.
The only Cosmo I know has 2 fairy godparents.
Huh.
I mean, I know the Shermans. Are the Shermans?
Do you know Kara Sherman?
Yeah,
I know
and
Kara
Used to
Sherman.
work
yeah,
at
yeah.
ASHO.
See, that's what I was gonna say. The Shermans are very popular in the Scientology world.
Really? I
Is
didn't
she
know
still
that.
in?
Yeah.
Bill?
Oh, I have no idea. I
And
mean,
Michael Graves, that was her brother.
yeah,
Mike Graves,
wow.
he got married, has a beautiful family. I don't know where he stands with Scientology, but he does have a beautiful family, Mike Graves. So.
See, I like that. I like success stories. Why couldn't there not be more
Your
success stories?
needle is floating.
Mm-hmm. But is Kara
Because you know
Sherman
why?
still
Because
in?
they don't have an examiner to do the success story too. Is who? Is
Kara
Carrie?
Sherman.
I was joking, Sarah. You're like, they don't have an examiner. Oh, you're like, is Carrie?
Honestly, they might. I mean, Mike Graves might still have an examiner. I really have no idea, but yeah.
I have no
Kara
idea. This
Sherman.
is good to talk about so people know, and they'll let us know somewhere down the line. It says here, so Liz never got to ask them her question about did they on purpose not react to piss others off. I think that's what she wanted to know from them. So what was it on purpose? Wait, what do you remember that,
I
Liz?
remember. I know.
Okay,
I
so
got my answer
so
right.
was it? I guess I didn't understand it. Is it on purpose to piss the person yelling at us off? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
so like
Because it
almost
would
like
piss them off because
yeah, because
they weren't
we've
getting
got
any reaction.
our flat faced and not doing anything because we've been groomed to be yelled at. Now, when I yell at people, that means I've gone past the point of I'm about to tone 40 this motherfucker. And
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
starting to swing, but that's usually when I get there.
Yeah.
That
Like, but
yeah. Tone 40, that motherfucker. Love it.
but at the same time, that was the question. We all got the best answer that we could have.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if any of you guys want to answer this. Renee B. Super, super inappropriate question. I was just making sure we got that. Super. And do these she says, or they say, do these weird experiences affect you in your intimate life after Scientology? They did
Yes.
for a bit until you process them, I think.
Yeah,
I
until
can
I
tell
started
you one for sure. One thing that really affects me now to this day,
touching the
which is
naughty
the
part.
confessional questioning. You know, I just have it's just the bull baiting and the drilling that I got as far as on how to ask confessional questions and just having absolutely no button whatsoever on asking someone anything, you know, and it just comes out. Just, you know, the question just pops out and I'm asking them and I'm not even, I think it's the next logical thing, but it usually fucking creeps people out.
I
Yeah.
think once we mention the word Scientology, people usually go. That's how I found it.
I've had a lot of people actually pretty open to hearing about it. Very curious, very interested.
Yeah.
Until I actually got meeting with the best way I can explain it, until I actually started looking at the fact that Scientology wasn't real, my experience was weird. Like it was almost like if you told someone you grew up in Scientology and you were unfortunately, because again, I used to say I was a Scientologist up until I was 40. So this wasn't like I, just woke up when I left the Sea Org, unfortunately. It would be almost like, oh my God, I have so many questions for you. Like, where do I begin? Is it really a cult? Like, can you tell me a little bit about it? Yeah, you don't see the bad stuff till you really actually have to look at it.
Well, no, it's interesting. I when you were answering, the way I was looking at it was after getting out of Scientology, because I actually remember when I was still in it, I actually didn't want to tell people I was a Scientologist, and I'd say I had these theories about life and existence that were totally just Scientology, like moving through me. And I remember a girlfriend even like called me out on it once. She's like, "Isn't that just Scientology?" I was like, "No, what are you talking about? I'm not brainwashed into believing these are my own thoughts and belief systems, and I'm, whatever."
You know how hard it was for me to actually look at the fact that LRH did not invent like the three different the 3 different reasons why you can't study from learning how to learn.
Mm.
That hit me like a ton of bricks. The student had that shit hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, what do you mean that shit's not real? You know how many people I tell about that? Son of a bitch.
Oh wow.
Do you still do like sentences and look up the derivation and all that?
Yeah.
I mean, I still honestly, that's the one thing. If I could, if I wanted to say something that
Sarah,
maybe
don't, because
I'll say
you
no.
think you truly think L. Ron Hubbard was like, yeah, and the next thing you should do is do 10 sentences and look
No.
up the
I'm not saying to do that. I'm not saying to do that.
No, he stole somebody else's knowledge
Yeah,
or way
no,
of doing it. It was
but that's what
never
I
him
meant.
coming up with it. In the
I'm
same
not
way,
trying to say
so-
that LRH, thank
so
you
what
for
were you
your
gonna
study
say?
technology.
what were you
That is
gonna say?
not what I am saying.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that, like, my grammar, like, when I went to high school, normal high school, I was the one kid in the class who understood what the fuck was going on with a high school teacher who was from another country that asked me to explain the lesson. You know, I got a D in this like summer class only because I stopped showing up because I had just no reason to. It like, and I'm not saying that it was even a good thing because it drilled a lot of shit into my head that was on top of, but I think some of them, like a few of the things of just understanding language, because he did have this and took a lot of ideas, you know, wherever he got it from, he put forth a lot of ideas about how to really like drill language into people and to understand its structure and how to use it to also manipulate people. You know, like I'm not saying there were good
What do you
intentions.
mean to also? What were the good intentions?
No, I didn't. I did not say there were good intentions. I said there were not
you
good
also
intentions.
said to also, like, no, he only learned all of this and took it from people to create Scientology.
Right. No, but so I'm not trying to sing any praises.
No, I
You should know
know.
me well enough.
I do
At
know
this
you.
point.
I'm not
She's
asking
like,
for this.
I'm about to
I'm
open
not
a can of
asking for
whoop
this.
ass right now.
Exactly.
What I am trying to say is that there is information about language that if you, I don't know, if you can take away all the other shit, might be helpful to some people. But the fact that it's in with all that other shit in like a nice package, I don't know. I
What
recognize.
language?
I really want to know, what language are you referring to? Like what? Like a word or?
No, the English language, like his understanding of grammar, in its traditional use and sense. And mind you, it's like it's evolving as well, though. And if we stay with that traditional use and sense, like you know, with the internet and everything, we have a totally different way of communicating. It doesn't take away the fact that you know
Good
words
point.
are spells and words, and their structure. It's very specific, and they have different vibrations to it. Again, he doesn't explain all of this, but I feel like this understanding is in it. Like he infused, like he used an understanding. Again, I talked a little bit about this guy who told me about the black magic work that he did, and he was one of the few people who could use the nomenclature and the structures of Scientology sentences in the same way that I understood them. And he never went on court. He never was in an ord. He learned this from some other like facet, and I guess LRH used to like every morning. Again, this is from one person. Nonetheless, he was very convincing. You know, had these like magical sentences, right, that he would put down. I'm just trying to say that there is
No,
a
I'm
lot.
agree.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's no like, told you so or anything. What I'm saying is, I understand. I'm hearing you. But what I am saying is that, yes, like doing the training drills on how to communicate obviously made me understand
But no,
that
did you ever do the like learning how to learn grammar and communication?
of course, 1,000
Okay,
times
okay,
over and
okay.
over and
That's
over and over again.
that's more what I'm referring to
And
than
you
like
know what?
anything else. Yeah.
It might have sounded like I was joking, but when I asked Liz, "Do you still make sentences?" I still do that. I don't make 10. I don't do 10 sentences.
Yeah.
I just go, do I really understand the word? Make a sentence. And then I will know I really do understand it because I can hear myself making a sentence. So it's not that it's not that I use that every time I learn a word. I'm just going like, wow, like sometimes when words are really hard to understand for me, I'm like, okay, I've looked it up. I see it. I see the definition, but it's not registering in my, like, I'm just like, but so does that mean and so then I have to use a sentence. Can I use it like this? That is not Scientology. That is something that if I was going to look up a word and I knew what knowledge and language was, I would go, how would I use that in my next book? Like, how could I use that word in a meaningful way? Right. So I would naturally
That's
be using
obvious,
it in a
common sense.
sentence. Right.
No, my mom was doing that before Scientology, you know, when she was
That's
born
what I'm
during the
saying.
war.
So like
yeah.
even these things of learning how to learn how he's saying, it's like, no, it's just, and he just made things that were normal human common sense and didn't say, oh, I learned all of this through just the nature of man.
I pulled it right out of my
never had
ass.
the experience. Yeah.
The Dulles problem mass.
He's so full of shit. Like he even's like, I slept with pygmy, you know, when on I don't know how many times I was forced to watch because I couldn't find all my misunderstood words. I was forced to watch the what is Scientology video on HQS with Mr. Hitchman. Many millions of words have been said and written about Scientology, but there's still many doubts in many people's. Anyways, and then he comes in, well, Mr. Hitchman. And in that, he says, like, I've slept with Mongol. I've been he acts like he's been on all these adventures and slept with all these different
Walks
tribes. And it's just
world,
like, he's so full of shit. He's literally so full of shit. And oh my God, right when I said that, I remember his teeth. How can you be such a leader and have such gross teeth when the number one precept in the Way to Happiness book is brush your teeth? It
Get
says
some
take care of
dentures at
yourself.
least.
It's or
Come on, pick her.
but like the truth that your physical body is showing us that you're lying. Like, how do you not drink and how is your teeth like that? How are you not over smoking? How are you not abusing drugs or something? Like, you are crazy. Okay, go ahead, Liz.
Okay, that man was a fat bastard. First of all, why is it that we all of a sudden when I was in the Sea Org, I was a healthy size 14. Well, that was considered morbidly obese. Like, good fucking Lord, I would love to be a size 14 again. And then all of a sudden you get put on the stupid general diet or generals, who the fuck cares what it is? It's called the starvation diet.
HCG diet.
Yeah, and
remember that?
And LRH was
rice
fat.
and beans. Rice and beans.
Like fat. You know he did not eat rice and beans. You know that he never even touched it.
But
like,
that's the whole thing. That's what we were talking about earlier. Nobody can put L. Ron Hubbard or David Miscavige, the leaders of some fucking thing, on the RPF. Nobody can even put their ethics in. Like, it's up to David Miscavige to go in session. And he'll choose his auditor. Oh, trust me, he'll choose who he feels. Maybe he's let
that's going to be Tom Cruise now.
Audit him. It's already done. I bet
it's
you.
Solo
oh my God.
audited now. Everything.
Now
he
they're
does.
just because they're busy with
no,
one
he can't
hand
touch the
here,
can. Remember, touching the can is still illegal.
And the other hand is jerking the other one off while the other one is holding their other solo can.
Kind of want to see this porno now.
It would be kind of interesting.
Okay, so we're gonna give you guys like the
back
worst
to rice and beans. Back to rice and beans.
No, not back to rice and beans. I did not know about the 2 girls, 1 cup.
Okay, let's not go there.
I'm just saying.
No, Liz, this is a chat about jobs we had when we left the Sea Org.
But someone told me about that, and you know what?
Okay, you know what's disgusting? In my Little Red Radio band, me and Jason wrote a lyric, literally saying, "It's like 2 chicks in 1 cup that will make you weary." Just gonna say that. So I'm a hypocrite, and I'm gonna mute myself while you go ahead and talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about.
No, that's all.
Okay.
Because I don't get sarcasm. So the first time someone told me that, I literally was like, you don't want to have a glass of tea with me? Like, I am a nice person. You cannot catch the gay.
No,
But
it's not
for
a
some
this hasn't
reason,
it's not about gay. It's not
yeah,
about
I
no.
know. I know what it is now, but I'm just telling you, I took it literal.
Okay, congratulations. But these are things we learn when we leave. Like these are the things you go through. And it also started that thing also started as a prank. It was like, "Oh, have you seen this thing? 2 chicks, 1 cup?" No, no. And then you read it and you're like, "Ew," and you literally can't. It's gross. Okay, moving forward. We're not doing that.
Okay, sorry.
Um
I just don't get. I don't get. Like I loved it that Lou, you gave me sarcasm. I totally didn't get it. I had to watch it like 3 times, and it was still.
I still
I
don't even know. I know.
I don't get yeah, we're not doing it. REM arts for you, Liz, so you can change your subject because that was not gonna go. Liz, did you really just drop a Fairly Odd Parents reference? Let's just change this was
Yes,
from
I did.
earlier. Love
Yes,
some
I did.
Cosmo and Timmy Turner. Is that what you did?
Give me. It's literally it's a cartoon. It's called The Fairly Odd Parents on Nickelodeon.
Ooh, good. Good. Question. Or did we already do this or what? Question, Sarah or all. How did you sift through the useful vs the icky? Was that hard? This is from Witness. Hi, Witness.
Therapy.
but Liz, didn't we talk about even therapy was hard to start doing because it reminded us
Because I
of
thought
auditing.
I was
So
literally.
that's what he's saying. Witness is like, wasn't there is this sifting. There is this like, okay, this is valuable. Oh, this is L. Ron Hubbard, but he didn't really make it. It came from this other stuff. So definitely for me all the time, every day, that's what I'm doing. I'm sifting what I like, what I don't, what isn't. It's yeah. It's,
Yeah.
in the layers in earth when you see some major shifts in mineral, like from like redstone to like pale white in mountain, inside. It's like that. It's like, nope. That's when I left Scientology and now I'm a shiny baby. And now you can see I'm just growing and
I
sifting
still
through.
I still question a lot of stuff. I still, like am I not understanding because it's lack of mass? I still do that sometimes. Like, am I sure I understood that? Do I know what it looked like? Do I
Oh,
know
you
what
know what I get?
I
You know
still
what I
test
do?
myself.
I say surf hacking. Am I
Okay.
surf hacking or I'm ridging? I'm ridging.
Oh yeah, good one.
Or that person. Whoa, okay. Are you gonna hold a ridge and I've changed it to like a grudge. Or are you gonna hold that? Are you gonna hold that suitcase, that heavy suitcase against me a while? How long are you gonna hold that suitcase? I have to say that, but like I'm like not like in the moment, like when I'm like upset or I'm explaining it, like, no, I feel like you're just ridging on me. It does make people do hear it. But I go, in my other mind, I go, you just did it again. You just used Scientology on a wog and they still got it. But I'm like, it's like some things I just can't like clearly get across or say without just saying like, you're like messing up my fucking space. You're interbulating me. I'm like, what
I
is
said
that?
that once.
You.
I said
That's
that
what
once
you're
at a
doing.
job.
You're like interbulation.
I was sitting there
go
trying to
ahead.
explain to my boss how him being a total dick was interbulating, but I was trying to say it without saying he was being a dick. So I was like, this whole situation between the favoritism and everything else, it is extremely interbulating. And he goes, what is interbulating? So then I gave him the definition of interbulating. And then I was like, it literally is like nobody's ethics are in. And then I had to go look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, what did I just say?
So that's something that Laura and I have talked about a little bit, especially when it comes to plant medicine, because one of the cool things, kind of like something I have happen now, is I have forgotten almost all of the words, and until people start saying them,
Yeah, me
they
too.
don't. I wonder then
But
for
do
you.
you not like it when they come back, or is it okay when it does come back?
No, it's in some ways it can be kind of fun and funny because you're like, oh my God, like I
Right.
totally forgot that word. And like, I can't believe that used to be such a part of me and who I was and how I communicated and how I
It was our
viewed
first
the
language.
world. Right. Well, so but I want to answer this question further, which is in just like removing shit. It's like almost like for me, I had to remove the structure, like the literal like rebar and everything from my system that was holding up Scientology in there. And then from there, when stuff would come into my system or my space, like even like meditation, because you could be like, oh, that's a TR, right? But no, it came into me totally separate. And I didn't even like, I don't even know if I thought about it like that until this exact moment. Like it had to come in almost another way. The only thing I probably still relate is the study technology, which is why I was kind of, I felt I feel so much about it.
But also at the same time, do you feel like because you didn't have the boundary of or not boundary, but just having the line of like, oh, this is like a TR, maybe you were already like, not to speak or say how you felt. I'm almost asking. Do you feel that the TR when you were in Scientology almost felt more like you could understand it because it felt more meditative than a TR? And then when you came in the outside world, when you started doing meditation, you were like, oh, it's kind of like TR's meditation, and not realizing there was like a fine line. You know what I mean? I definitely was like, oh, this reminds me of TR's, but you also taught me a lot about, yoga, like stance and posture and like Pilates things. And I was just like, wow, Sarah has a whole different knowledge, place in her brain than I do. And not that you can't teach me, because you are teaching me. And I'm just going like, how did she have this sort of, I wonder if there's this blend of search for, life and knowledge and understanding us, and that you could blend TRs and meditation easily together and not think like, oh, they weren't sort of separate.
I think
because for me, sorry, not to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
But for me, when somebody said go to therapy and I went, I felt like I was in an auditing session, or when somebody was saying do this type of therapy, I was like, oh, this is like TRs. It was very, very yucky and icky. I did not like it.
So I like, so that even goes for this other practice that I do called emotion code. And I do it with someone who's an ex-Scientologist as well. And when they first did it, they thought, oh my gosh, this is like auditing. Which again, though, when I did it, for whatever reason, I do believe I did like intense medicine work for a long time. That was really intense, and I don't necessarily recommend it. But at the same time, it was really effective. And I don't know how other people do it. I just know how I did it, which was it literally just like stripped those structures away. So when I had something that was helpful and effective, and I could feel it in me, in my system, I could feel it, the positive impact it had, versus, because I do remember when I used to do TRs, they would take me as a child to do pro TRs with people because I was such a great sitter. But the reason I think I was so great at doing those TRs with other people was because I was so disassociated. I was so out of my body. I was so just, and so again, now like I sit in meditation and I'm like, oh, I'm in pain, or oh, here's my thoughts coming. There's all this stuff that comes up, and sometimes I'll start doing shit if it feels like I need to do shit, versus doing TRs like boom.
All of a sudden, I'm
shit.
Like,
right.
I'm like,
I've seen Sarah, at a festival, or we're watching music or something, a band or something, and she's like, oh, feeling it or something. And this is because me and Sarah are literally very connected spirits. Like, I love this little baby. But there's definitely times where I can, I was gonna say, like, I could, I don't know. I feel, I also don't want to assume anything again. I'm not saying anything, but I also feel that there's certain parts where, like being able to separate, and I don't know if it's just because you're you and you have your ways of doing it, but being able to just have your life and being able to hear a view from somebody that was in the Sea Org, or this person that you dated, that, or whatever it was, like you're able to conform, like your yoga, your Pilates, you're learning these things. For you, I feel like you have like there's still that in your adventure sort of Scientology life that wasn't taken away through all this. And even then you're open to understanding, oh, could medicine be okay for this? Could a pill at some points be like, whereas a Scientologist viewing certain Pilates or even meditation or therapy as being squirrel, against auditing behavior, or being a Scientologist, you should just be doing Scientology, not yoga. Or the Purif, or
I
the
literally
running,
had
whatever
someone
it is.
tell me that actually once when I was doing yoga. She told me from Ashley. Yeah, she was like, "You need to like structure your time better because it's not
like what." Yeah, they're like, "Why are you not going in
taking
session?"
care of my body. Oh shit.
Yeah, and you're like, but they don't consider. They're like, that's squirrel. Like, we have a way that you should be taking care of your body.
Yeah, no, and we've showered with all those people that are taking care of their bodies.
We have seen those people who are taking care of their
No,
body.
that is wrong. That is wrong.
L. Ron.
No. L wrong.
Wrong.
Oh my God. I should
Oh
write
God.
I should get another merch shirt. Laura, don't be so funny. I'm gonna do L wrong Hubbard.
Yeah, I love it.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank
I'll
you.
be here all night.
Hubbard.
Maybe I just got inspired by Jeff Hawkins' marketing interview that I did, right?
Yeah.
Our little episode. I'm like, look, I got the SBT. I'm just gonna put on the back of this L Wrong Hubbard. Why
Yeah.
not? Just add it to the thing. Hey, when you print the shirt, can you just add on the back
I'm
in
wondering
black
if we
letters,
can
L Wrong Hubbard.
we can put him
L
on the
dot
missing
wrong
list.
Hubbard.
Could also put
Who?
L wrong, but yeah.
Like someone told me the other day, isn't L. Ron Hubbard supposed to be coming back? And I was like, does that mean he's missing?
I am not advertising L. Ron Hubbard at all. L. Wrong Hubbard.
You can call him L. Wrong Hubbard.
On an SPTV shirt? Absolutely. Nope. For now, we're doing Where's Bob Ferris? And no joking about that.
Yeah.
Let's get Bob Ferris, save Bob Ferris out of Gold Bay. Same with my mother, I said our mother,
I was
guys.
like, our mother,
Diane Anderson, my mother from the Gold Base. But the thing is like, help us figure out genius ways that you can deprogram somebody inside a cult that is they're keeping themselves in there because of the abuse, mental abuse and physical abuse that Scientology structures around them, Like, if you can help us in that way, great. Other than that, like, talking about it and having all these great little chats is exactly what's helping and spreading the word and keeping people semi understanding, like, in whatever ways we can explain all of this shit.
Everything
still
we
understanding.
Through, yes.
Yeah.
But it's still weird because it is a first language and it feels like it's almost like a hidden language.
You see how Liz just said that, Sarah? It's still a first language. Like Scientology, and you're referring to Scientology language, meaning like if I went to France, I learned, French and, like Scientology really, no matter what race we were or where we were born originally or whatever, Scientology is our first language. Isn't that crazy that something can be your first language wherever you are across the earth under the belt of Scientology? Because they have their own way of behaving, thinking, acting, what you want to be in the future when you grow up, what's out of valence, what's gay, what's not, what's one, but yet they will protect somebody who's gone in session and gotten off the withholds. If you've gotten off that you raped somebody, if you've gotten off that you're a pedophile, if you've gotten off that you have these bad habits, you know what I mean? Like, then they can protect you because they see that you're being totally open with them and you're really, you're being so dedicated that you're giving them things to use against you later if you ever leave. But you're also allowing this person to continue being that person that they are, because auditing in Scientology doesn't help cure anybody's pedophilia behavior, and in fact encourages it and just aligns it in certain boxes, and the abusive, and how to treat people and how to manipulate your wife and how to get what you want without, there's so many. It's just like, why? Life has other ways of doing things without money and without all that. Why are we demanding that we have to listen to L. Ron Hubbard solely. Like, are you kidding me?
Someone
mean, you're
put
not
L.
kidding me,
Wong
but-
Hubbard.
L.
That's what I said.
Howard.
Wong.
Yeah.
Why?
L. Wong. L. Wong Hubbard.
I don't get that. I feel
I
like-
was more thinking like
like-
a penis.
Like Wong, not like Dong.
So I was thinking like Wong, like the.
L.
Oh, Sarah.
L. Dong.
I'm single, you know.
L. Dong Hubbard. L.
L.
Dong
Dong.
Wong Dong Dong.
Like when the beat goes dong. Could have went in dong.
Okay, wow. Back.
I'm never gonna forget L. Dong Hubbard.
Wait. Okay, wait. Let's stop talking about that for a second. Back to language, though.
Yeah, I wanted, and also, you
Yeah.
did say you wanted to finish answering this, Sarah, about the languages, and also about the sifting through the icky and the and all that. I don't know if you remember what you were gonna say, but
I'll say what I'm going to say about language first.
Okay.
Because I think that actually, in some ways,
we'll pull
it
that up,
actually, it bridges, because
Yeah.
I have thought about, I always want to learn like another language. And I have like a lot of small pieces of languages, but I learned from another mother in Bali. Actually, it was her husband telling me. She was Russian. So she spoke Russian, she spoke English, she spoke Spanish, I think she spoke French, and then she was learning Indonesian. And she spoke about how her, like, each language had a different feeling to it. Depending on what she wanted to communicate, she would use these different languages that she had to communicate how she felt, but like more fully and more completely, because she had those languages. And so when you guys said that first language, Liz, that was really, it made me really think about it, because that is literally your first structure, because words are abstract. And even now, I have a son, he's 6 years old, and he isn't supposed to even, his brain isn't even supposed to be at a point where he understands abstract concepts. And yet, even our society, let alone something like Scientology, is telling us we have to teach them letters and numbers, and they're supposed to understand words, which are literally abstract concepts, right?
And not only that, they are also saying that some of those things are aberrated. Like, oh, that's aberration. We'll deal with that in another session. Like, they literally break down the thought process of a child.
Oh,
on
whoa,
what
yeah.
on certain departments, like, oh, what was he thinking? Oh, so he likes nail polish. That's aberrated. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll
Yeah.
just
Wow.
monitor his behavior and see if he's leaning toward that. So now you've got the own mother monitoring. Oh, is he going to be gay? Is he doing this? What is he?
See, okay. So I'd like
If
to
you're
segue
gonna, if you
slightly.
want to
Yeah.
find a fault and a flaw in somebody, you're gonna find a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
Right,
imagine
if
her,
you're
and then
looking for
being,
faults.
and then being the mother of this person,
Wow.
then going, oh, well, now you're banned. Why am I banned? You're wearing nail polish. What's wrong with my nail polish? All of a sudden, it's an issue.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I respect you as a mother very much, Sarah. I love you very much. Okay,
Thank
sorry,
you.
continue.
Legion wears nail polish, for the record.
I was literally also thinking, I was just like, Legion's, yeah.
Yeah, Legion's
That's
great.
why. That's literally why I was like, and Lee, and me as a child, my Scientology aunt told me, oh, I know it's you, because every time I see your nails, they're always nail polished and scruffed up, but they're always polished. And they're all
What?
different. Yeah, she was like, they're all, and I would color them with markers. I would color that. I would always be like, I'm gonna go. Oh, look, I'm pretty. And it would be like red mark. And I'd be like, my mom would be like, what'd you do? I'd be like, I like it. And she'd be like, fine, let's go. We need to get on the plane to Canada. This is our one trip for the next 6 years for 3 days. Hurry up. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Sarah. Nail polish.
Sound like
I-
boneheads.
I just love Lee, her son, because he is so open and free. And I love that his mother gave that to him. And like, he can paint his nails whatever he wants, and it doesn't fucking matter. And he's so smart, and he's creative, and is so cool.
He is really creative, which is actually, it's really incredible. And you should see his hair right now. He cut it, and it's like part of it's cut here, and part of it's like long. And anyway, and he doesn't want me to touch it. So
Just
I'm
like me.
okay.
Yeah. Just like me. I'm like,
yeah.
no.
He's
no.
totally got Lara. He's
I'm like,
obviously
no.
inspired by Auntie Lala. Obviously.
Don't touch it. Only hairdressers
wait.
ask me. They're like, what are you doing with your hair? I'm like, don't Don't talk to me about my hair. I'm the only one. Me and my cats. That's it. My cats chew it at night. That's it. Okay, back to I was just continuing the joke, but you were jumping back in. Go ahead.
Honestly, though, as I'm thinking about it, I think part of so we're talking about language, and I was an avid reader when I was younger, and I still am a pretty avid reader to a certain degree. But I do also believe that like seeing language like that it creates structures, it creates synaptic connections, right? It creates abstract concepts for us. So I feel like when we're able to actually like step away from or like because I don't think it's all about just throwing it all out. While simultaneously, I think it's when you come into your own and what you truly authentically feel. And I think it starts with the feeling. And you're able to really feel into each moment or each idea or each thought. The stuff that isn't aligning with that doesn't actually resonate, that doesn't actually, that isn't held in your natural fractal structure that you are creating at every moment of every time and every space will literally fall away. I'd like to think it's as easy as that. And I both believe it is, and also there's the journey of that process, and of being able to recognize what is your own and what isn't, I think is like the first step to that. And there is a lot of just pulling out first and foremost, and then being present with how you feel, which often there's a lot of gunk in there that you have to feel to know whether or not you want to keep it, so there could be some discomfort that you actually have to be present with, hold space for, and then realize, is that discomfort me, because I put confines and boundaries around that because I said no nail polish, or no black nail polish, or I have to have my hair this way, or I have to people please, I trust everyone, or whatever that is, which takes away your inner authority, your sovereignty, but also your protector. If it like does away, there's so many aspects and parts to who we are that have us function in a holistic, loving, conscious, like present here and now. But see, that's the thing, even like present time, like I do believe that there is like being in the now is so important. But at the same time, except for in this conversation, I'm not relating it to like, oh, being in present time, get to present time, like I'm never relating that together. And yet simultaneously, I'm like, whoa, me being here and now is important. I can also be present with those thoughts and feelings and bring them here now and be like, oh, little Sarah, I am so sorry. She said, listen here, you little bitch. Melissa Palmer, right? Right, which made me think of what you were saying about TR0. And I actually remember, I was a little girl, 14 years old, or 15 years old, being screamed at by my senior and not being able to react. Yeah, I forgot about that. I remembered the screaming, but I forgot that I had to sit there and take it and not react. So so a lot of this stuff I've forgotten. But I've also been with a lot of those parts of myself. So those parts aren't forgotten, just some of the memories around Scientology themselves, because that's the shit that I don't need to remember, to have a like happy, joyous life present with beautiful people that I love so much. That's so great,
And also the being when you tell people I'm in present time, if you were never a Scientologist, a normal person would be like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Like in real talk, like that's the truth. Like that's so imagine when you're leaving the Sea Org and getting into new jobs, you are using language. Like people are making fun of us, or were at times making fun of us for using all this, abbreviations of Scientology. Well, now we're on now it's an open table where we're allowed to. Whereas before it was even in our normal conversations, even in a bar argument, I would be like, don't cut my comm when I'm talking to a non-Scientologist at a bar about a pool game or something. I'd be like, don't cut my
Interrupting the
comm.
communication.
Listen to my point of view. Get your just confront me, whatever it was. I was still using the language of Scientology. So and that none of that time nobody was like, what did you say? Or like it wasn't like an obvious thing. They felt what I meant, and so they also understood what I was saying, not knowing that my background was being raised in Scientology. Then they would have been like, "Oh, that's why you," and when I did tell them, they would go, "That's why you were always saying this or that." But on the other end, if you're leaving the Sea Org and you're going in to get jobs and stuff, and nobody's telling you you're using a weird, strange language, you're never gonna know it until you start to like separate and dissect what do I like in life and what do I don't? Why do I still do that? Why do I feel awkward when somebody loves me and they just want to hold me? Like, what is it? Like, there's so much dissecting to do. And then, do I feel okay? Do I like that? No, I don't. Do I like it? What's wrong with that? Oh my God, I love that. You know what I mean? Like, then there's things you really enjoy. You're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I can masturbate and not have to think about
You're going there.
this.
Oh my
I
God.
am going there. It's going there. But like, so there's all these little things, all the way down to small things. I'm going to go back to the Q-tip again. Like, cleaning your ears after a shower with a Q-tip is so precious. That wasn't even allowed to have. You're not allowed to just like have your own area with your toothbrush. And no, you're living a dorm with 8 or 10 or 12 other Sea Org members or whatever it is. It's just like the lifestyle is completely different. And your purpose and what your intent is different. Like, you're just you're not paying your apartment bills. You're not saving your child and making sure he has amazing food, or you're not gardening or making art and skulls in your back. You're not doing these things that are like natural life, enjoyable things. You're taught to always be working and to always be at it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
I love how she does at least the,
I
at
like
least
that you
3
guys
mic
say
drops.
I like that you say I do the mic drop, and I'm like, oh, was that a mic drop? No,
That was a
I was
mic
like,
drop.
I'm
Yeah,
always
well,
like, thank you
mic
for
drop.
letting me like bleh, and spooge it out.
Spooge it out. Okay.
But Sarah, what I was also saying on your thing is that you were saying something about the TRs and like being in the PT and all that. And what I was saying is that even L. Ron Hubbard, not to go back to that, but to say that L. Ron Hubbard was definitely not the person to mention present time or PT as a short, even version of present time. So maybe that's the first time we heard it as children or as people who were born and raised in the environment of Scientology, always being PT, get your PT, your ethics, da, da, da. But ethics and justice and all these things were all old terms. You know what I mean? And we have completely different meanings and definitions for them just in Scientology world. So even if we're using the word infinity, or I have so much love or affinity for that person, somebody be like, oh, that's so nice. Yeah, me too. But we are thinking, oh yeah, good. This is Scientology. Like, this is Scientology world. So yeah, I would say that it feels good to be in present time when you need to be in present time. Like, if you're running a machine or something, or you're taking care of your child and you need to hear his
Driving.
feelings, or if you're driving, exactly. Yes, you better get in fucking PT. And I don't believe that L. Ron Hubbard was the first person who came up with that wording.
Even like Ram Dass, be here now, and he had his yogi teachers right back in India.
Present, but even so many people are like, be present, be here, be right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a thing. It's always been a thing, except he uses it to like manipulate again.
He
tribe
uses
people and-
everything to
blur the line,
to warp
blur
or
the line.
twist.
Yep, to blur the line of what is human or humane, and then what is what doesn't feel right in people's guts. Because if you did it right away in front, it would be way too obvious. Wait, that doesn't feel right. That's wrong.
Yeah.
But if you just do it slowly through little things, then slowly by the end, you don't even realize you're doing this. You still never realize you're doing this at the end.
Yeah,
You're just, well, my job is to do this. And if I have to kill somebody to do it, then that's what I'm doing.
Well, that's the funny thing is
So
like
you're murdering.
we are so
That went deep.
disassociated.
But I'm
We're
saying
like,
that's how deep it goes mentally.
Yeah.
That's how deep it is. If I have to kill for them, I would, that's like,
Right.
well, if, and that's how sadly a lot of dark religion, like deep, hard wire, like, I'm not going to believe in anything else or see anything else any other way because that's a distraction of God or whatever it is. It kind of like, who's telling you that? And where's this fear coming from? What the heck,
Mhm.
I like this question from Mandy McGee. Question: Are you afraid to talk about?
Is it down at the bottom? Oh, right here. Boom. Hi, Mandy. Sweet angel baby. Question: Are you afraid to talk about Scientology in public? I was for sure even afraid when we left, like just to go, even though we were kind of Scientologists still in the outside world. I was annoyed. I would be like, well, shut up. If any of my friends would even mention Scientology at a bar or anything, I didn't want other people to know that we were Scientologists. And it wasn't because I was embarrassed of Scientology. There was just a gut feeling in me that disregarded and disliked the whole subject of my personality being related to Scientology, for sure. So I definitely avoided that for a while.
Yeah, I tried telling everybody at first, and then you learn real quick that you get treated. I had been treated differently when they found out.
I would say that we weren't even talking about it in a bad way. It was just that we didn't want to be related to Scientology. I think we were trying to see our new life and something in this new outside world is showing us something different, and we didn't need to relate it again to Scientology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to learn the WOG language so that I could translate the Scientology language into the Never-End language. And so yeah, that's what I was doing. I never really told anyone that I was ever a Scientologist before. For 2 years, I didn't tell a single person. And then I told somebody, and then it was hard to explain it to someone who's never been in. So I just never said anything about it, and I never let the words key me in, so to speak, until recently. When I started talking to all these, ex-Scientologists. Now I'm super keyed in. I love it. My needle's rock slamming.
Well, on that note, my needle. I don't think an auditor in Scientology ever says that, right? They never say your needle is rock slamming. They
No, they don't. No,
No, I remember what is that? That right there? What is that?
That. Just
yeah, what are you thinking
but like
about?
they'll
What are you
say,
looking at?
yeah, calmly. You're like, okay, all right, we're gonna end the session. Like when you see in the reflection of the glasses, your needle's like, go. You're like,
There's
no,
like
idiot.
a huge red tag on your folder.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I was rubbing my feet on the carpet. But anyway, what I was gonna say here is which Louis, maybe you can answer this one. It can add to your restim.
TR6A.
Which TR is the one where you physically move someone around the room and you? Seems a lot like trance-inducing compliance to me. It's 100% that. It is 100% that. But which TR is it? Yeah, 6A. Does that help?
6A is the one where you walk them around, and then 6B is where you just do between the walls. Then TR7 is where you force them back and forth between the walls. TR8 is the ashtray. TR9 is the God command, making someone do it by putting the thought in their head and they just comply because you're God. TR9.
Wow.
Tone 40.
I think that is insane. The way you just said that and just like quickly
so
went
calm and rationally. I'm like
through each one. Yeah. I was just like, wow, that's true. Oh yeah, and that's what we did next. Oh yeah, and then you body route them or physically move the body. Yeah. And then oh yeah, well, we're above God. It's just like do it, and I'm gonna make you do it, and I'm gonna make you want to do it, and you're gonna want to do it, and then you're gonna do it.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna like it.
It's so gross. Wow. Anywho. Oh, this is so cute. I just got 3 merch orders on my website. Thank you, you guys.
Yeah.
It's like you have an old one. That's so sweet. Good job, you guys. Whoever just did that, I will find out later. Good. Wow, guys, we've been going at this for 2 hours and 11 minutes now. So we ended at 2:22. And answer any little fun things or let anybody ask any other random questions before we go. Here's one. Do you guys ever get threatened or harassed? CK. I feel like we don't have time for that. Like,
yeah,
that's a really long story.
But also like sure happens, and when it is happening, we don't care because harass like a threat is only a fear of something. If somebody's physically going to do something, I'm going to film you, and then you're done. Like that's like I just need a film. I can jump on this live stream. I can go on YouTube and be like, I need to go live. I need somebody to witness this. Like, boom, and nowadays that's all I have to do. So, and also we were all born and raised in this and or really manipulated by it in the outside world through going into it through the outside world into it. So whether like being born or raised in it is worse or not, I don't know, because you're from the outside world going in meaning like, oh, I've already been in the outside world. This is my mission now. So what's harder to, you know what I mean? But because of that, we also know what they're threatening us with. We know what tools they're going to try to use to make us feel nervous, and it just becomes sort of hysterical in an insane way. If that makes any sense. So
Boom.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, Mike, boom. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I can't drop my mic. There you go.
Oh, I love that so much. I love you guys so much. Thank you all individually for being here. This was really fun and it was very informative. I'm so glad we all got to be here and talk and enjoy all these little memories. What a good chat from all of our little young heart cells that were never allowed to speak or do anything. Or ever.
No, I tend to, when I was a kid, I used to love pissing security off. I don't know how I did it, but for some reason I pissed them off every day.
Yeah. Well, they had their eye on you. Guys, yes, there you go. I bet you, I don't know if Summer Savage already went to the website and got it, but you can go to my website, lara.fm. It's www.lara.fm. That's it. There's no .com. It's just .fm. And then go to the more merch little Polaroid tab that I have, and you can order what you
She's
want.
like, order it, baby.
I should
That's
also
should be
do
flowing.
one more, but I should do a giveaway for sure before we end this chat, don't you think? And even everybody should also, all you in the chat. Oh, Liz, you're getting an SBTV shirt. Louis, you're getting an SBTV shirt.
Yay.
You're getting an SBTV shirt. We're all getting an SBTV shirt.
I love that it's suddenly like Oprah in here.
That's
I know.
That's where I was going. I'm glad that
and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, and
only
get
if
a floating
Lara
needle.
was in Maui when those Lahaina fires happened, she would have given her home to everybody too,
Yeah. I'm like, come take a rest here.
She's better than an Oprah. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'll go swim with the dolphins. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we end the night, my sweet angels? We'll definitely do this again. That's a definite. If all y'all are, there's the little website. Go get your fun little merch and have fun. If any of you out there need a little phone number or a text line or anything like that, there you are, the SBTV Lara FM hotline. It goes directly to me and it's completely separate from my phone and everything. So you can text it if you want advice, if you need help getting somebody out of the Sea Org, if you have information on anybody or photos, you can text me pictures of photos of any cadets or, just cadet ranchers, int ranchers, pack ranchers. I want to try to get any footage of any of the old childhood lifestyle that we had, like digging trenches, any of the work jobs, basically any photos, because we're probably working or doing something completely abnormal in the photos. So any photos like that would be really cool, or even just being in the uniform.
Why are they taking photos of children doing child labor?
I remember they took a lot of photos.
To inspire other children and other people that are Scientology to come into the Sea Org and be like, this is what you want to do. Yeah, it's
so when we
painted communist China,
right? When we painted Pack, so when Awole got painted, I think in like 86, 87, they were so excited that there was kids like helping them paint. Like I remember my picture was taken a lot.
That's so weird. Yeah, they're like, wow, these theta children And then in
Mhm.
the seer, they're like, look at these theta beings.
Yeah,
and
and
these
little did they
small
know in the
bodies.
background, thank you for the paint. I had to cut my hair off.
Oh, many other things too. There's like so many. We
Yeah.
won't go there. I'm just gonna get crazy. Okay, my sweetie angel pies. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, everybody in the chat and everybody that's watching. And for all you watching in the future, we all love you. Please come back and listen to another episode. And I can't wait to have you guys all back. This is so fun. We can literally comment and chat about everything, and it feels
Yeah.
really awesome and great.
It's our
Thank you
second
again.
one.
Subscribe, like to all the channels. We love you all, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Liz. Bye. Oh, wait, guys. Wait, we should. Are we all
Can I do
doing
that?
Liz's thing? Wait, I have to press again.